This is insane, as the Sacramento Kings just sent a serious message to the entire NBA. And while it wasn't perfect because we did leave this game with an ugly looking injury over the course of this one, there is so much to get excited about as a Sacramento Kings fan. As Keegan Murray stepping up at that forward position, Sabonis continues his dominance out there at the center position. But really, the Kings came out and beat up on the number 1 seed coming into this game in the Western Conference. They beat up on a horribly officiated game. They beat up on the conspiracy theories floating as the score clocks, the scorekeepers, whatever the heck is managing those buzzers and stuff. They faced every single bit of adversity in this game, and the Kings came out and got a gritty, big, massive W. So we're going to break it all down and why this is a big sort of message for the entire NBA, because not just the NBA, but the internal coaching staff, the internal sort of management structure, that this team has the upper echelon talent to compete, to knock off any single team out there in the NBA. And all they need to do is take the right steps, continue to put people in a position to succeed, and make the right moves to maximize this core group, maximize the top guys out here on this roster. So we have so much to dive into in this video, but before we do, folks, again, if you guys are part of that 84% of our viewers that haven't hit the subscribe button just yet, and you don't want to miss a single thing that's going on with the Sacramento Kings team, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, because we are very, very close to 1,000 subscribers. So, join the ride as we break down this crazy Sacramento Kings season day by day. But we got to talk about this game, because frankly, this was just tense. This was, your chest is tightened up just watching this one against the Phoenix Suns, who, yes, are without Kevin Durant. Yes, it's whatever it is, but, they came out and got a big win, right? 127-118 out there in OT for the Sacramento Kings. And man, this was just an absolute barn burner. And the first person I want to talk about, the first person that needs to be discussed before we talk about the refs, before we talk about injuries, before we talk about whatever, DeMar DeRozan. 34 points in this game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 14 of 25 shooting, 101 from the 3-point line. Didn't even have to get that many free throw shots. Like, the refs were not calling anything really now at this point. Again, the 6 free throws for DeMar just feels like none, given how much he's able to draw contact, absorb contact and stuff. Like, DeMar DeRozan, whenever the Kings need a bucket, whenever they needed something to go down, whenever they needed something to rock out, DeMar DeRozan, not just in this game, but every game, comes out and is that reliable presence. And for everyone that was coming out, oh, DeMar DeRozan, that's not that big of an acquisition. What are you wasting cap space on that for? Is, the throwbacks, is Harrison Barnes or DeMar DeRozan better? What's all of that nonsense? That's got to be officially shut off now at this point. All those takes, all those opinions. DeMar DeRozan has proven that he is not just a star player, but one of those guys that on any given night can be that 1A option on a top-notch team and whatever squad. When you have Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, it's like the star power on your roster paired alongside of DeMar. I mean, that's a top 3. That's a big 3, that you don't want to mess with. I don't care if you're the Celtics, the Thunder, the Phoenix Suns, whatever the heck team you got, you do not want to face off against one of these snakes that the Kings just have out there ready to go, ready to dominate these games. And you just got to give this man his props, man, because DeMar DeRozan has been almost an afterthought for the past few seasons of his career. Obviously, he went to a Bulls team that dealt with a bunch of injuries over his entire tenure. The Spurs didn't have the talent around him for a long stretch of his seasons over there. So really, it's going back to the Raptors days, making Eastern Conference Finals runs. DeMar DeRozan has had a talented roster around him. And now with elite players, with elite guys, top-tier guys like Sabonis, like De'Aaron Fox, like Keon Ellis playing a bit of defense, Keegan Murray getting boards, all these types of guys. I'm just happy that he's finally getting the praise, finally getting the credit that he deserves. But staying on the topic, the big 3 that's out there playing for this Kings roster right now, like Sabonis, 20 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, just continues night in, night out to be effective. Did have a few turnovers this game, did foul out, but still, doing his thing. And De'Aaron Fox, obviously 21 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. And this is what's kind of going on. This is what is happening with this Kings team, because again, the front court depth is not crazy deep. Like, obviously you have a Sabonis who can get a bunch of boards, play that center spot. You have Murray now up there sliding up to the 4 position, who's naturally kind of a wing player and stuff. But both of these guys are just carrying the load out there, getting boards, getting those rebounds, doing the gritty, grindy plays, and especially Keegan Murray, man. Like, we have to give some credit there. And obviously De'Aaron Fox got a ton of boards in this one tonight, but Keegan Murray, I didn't rattle off his stats either, so I'll do that before. But 14 points, 14 boards for Keegan Murray. Knocked down a couple 3-point shots, which is good to see, 5-11 from the field. But really, the value we're seeing from Keegan Murray over the course of the season has just how he's developed, how he's taken his game to the next level in all other aspects, in all other areas, in all other those different directions. So, that's such a big impact, especially where the Kings are thin out there on their front lines. So they need players to be able to come out there, get boards, and step up in terms of playing up a position, playing a bit more gritty, grindy basketball. And Keegan Murray has certainly been able to do that. And we did see a step up from Trey Lyles, looking a bit more comfortable in this one. Still not hitting a ton of his shots, but at least had 8 points in this game. Got to the free throw line a little bit. So definitely not a perfect game for Trey Lyles, but got some boards, did his thing out there. Wasn't a complete negative. Keon Ellis really had to step up, and we'll discuss the injury situations and everything that happened. Kevin Huerter knocked down his 3-point shots, 5 and 9 from the 3-point line. You love to see that. 1 block, 3 steals in this one, locking in on the defensive end, getting 7 boards himself. I mean, this is a gang rebounding by committee. This was a Kings team that was motivated, that was ready to rock, and while there were some up and down stretches, while they did have to deal with this just blasphemous whistle that was coming, with everything that was sort of happening here in this game, Kings overcame. They got a gritty W against one of the league's best teams, even without Kevin Durant out there in the lineup. So, very, very strong performance out there for Sacramento. Very, very impressed with the resiliency, the fortitude to get this W. But obviously, it wasn't a perfect game because, again, Malik Monk ended up going down with injury. It was a pretty ugly looking one. You can see out there, right? You can't really see. I can't really point to it. My arm gets cut off. But you can see down there in this image, right? Malik Monk closing out on Grayson Allen, just rolls the ankle there, which is not that great, not that good of a look. So hopefully he's going to be okay. Because again, I'm amped up. I'm not out here kind of promoting, trying to get a bunch of trades going out here on these videos. Well, after a big W against the Phoenix Suns, but again, the lack of depth has been a noted problem on this Kings roster. That's just kind of something that does have to be discussed, does have to be brought up. Obviously, the 3-point shooting as well. Kevin Huerter made up for it tonight. De'Aaron Fox wasn't really knocking down his three. Sabonis didn't really knock down his three. So that's kind of how it goes there at that point. But, the depth is a concern for this Kings team because we have players step up. Trey Lyles, we'll see if he can be consistent. Obviously, Keon Ellis doesn't put up the craziest of stat lines, but has a clear impact on the game when he's out there. But Malik Monk is that bench unit, that's scoring for the bench unit for this Kings team. So if he's out with injury, other guys end up going down. You need players to be able to step up, whether it's one of the Jones, Orlando Robinson coming back, someone, to be able to come in and be effective out there for this Kings roster. So hopefully, this isn't a serious injury. Hopefully it's just one of those tweaks, and then you kind of hope for the best. But it is what it is. It is what it is here now at this point. But I'm riding a high. I'm feeling good about this Kings team again. Getting the win over a egregious whistle, over the shot clock. The clock not working, the malfunctions that go in the favor of the Phoenix Suns. I mean, the refs, the talent that you're going up against. I mean, there's a lot of good players out there on this Suns roster. I mean, and Jones, Beal, Booker, all those guys went off for big games. So, to overcome that, to be able to get a W out there at that front is just a massive, massive win for this team. So lots of stuff to get excited about, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about this game, about this win. You guys best think as far. Again, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Very, very exciting W. I'm signing out. Cheers.